Good morning, 5K. This morning, I am going to teach you how many eggs there are in a carton. So first, you see I have my egg carton. I cut the top off because I don't need that. I want you to be able to see the inside. So I want you to count with me and find out how many eggs are in a carton. Ready? Count with me. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, down here at the bottom, I wrote a little note that I'm going to teach you. When you have 12 of something, you have a dozen. So if I have 12 eggs, I don't have to tell Mr. Barch, I need you to go buy me 12 eggs. I can just say, Mr. Barch, can you go buy a dozen eggs? And then he knows that a dozen means 12. So 5K, I want you to say, a dozen means 12. Your turn. A dozen means 12. One more time, my turn first. A dozen means 12. Your turn. A dozen means 12. So right up here I have dozen. So how many eggs are in a dozen, did I just say? 12. So I wrote that right here. When I also put magnets on the back. Well, this isn't magnetized, otherwise I could stick it there, like on our whiteboard at school. I'm gonna write 12. A 1 and a 2. A dozen means 12. So I'm just gonna double check. I'm not gonna put real eggs in here because I don't want the eggs to fall out and crack and break all over the place because that would be messy and terrible. So I just have some noodles from when we made our Indian necklaces. I'm just gonna put those in there. So let's see if I have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to bring this closer. I do have 12 noodles. Now, I want you to look at the colors I put in there. I have yellow and purple. Let's see how many yellow I have. Oops. Let's see how many yellow I have. Count with me. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's see how many purple I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do you notice about right here? What would we call this line that cuts it right in half? We would call that a line of symmetry. So right here in my egg carton, I have a line of symmetry. It cuts it right in half because you know that 6 plus 6 makes 12. You know that doubles fact. And so right here with my dozen noodles, with the way I put my colors, I have a line of symmetry right down the middle. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yellow noodles and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 purple. It is a line of symmetry because both sides are exactly the same. And so if I have a line of symmetry going right down the middle, cutting it in half, well, how many eggs then are in a half dozen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's a half dozen, and here's a half dozen. So, in a half dozen, there are only 6 eggs, or 6 of something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm gonna write that up here. I wrote 1 half dozen, half dozen. So how many eggs are in a half dozen? 6, because of the line of symmetry down the middle. Cutting my dozen right in half. I have 6 yellow and 6 purple. Now, we're gonna play a little game. At home, where you are, I want you to tell me how many eggs. I'm gonna hold up the carton. You're gonna tell me 12 or 6. A dozen has 12, a half dozen has 6. Here we go. This carton has a dozen, 12. This carton has a dozen, 12. This carton has half dozen, 6. This carton has a dozen, 12. This carton has half dozen, 6. Okay, one more time. This carton has half dozen, 6. This carton has 12, a dozen. Now, I'm going to leave these up here for you to remember. On your math worksheet for homework, it might tell you a story about somebody who made a dozen muffins. If your mom made a dozen muffins, how many muffins should I draw? If mom made a dozen muffins, do you remember a dozen means how many? A dozen means 12. All right, so I'm going to draw 12 muffins. Now, you know I'm not going to draw a picture because this isn't art, this is math, and that takes way too long. So I'm just going to draw muffins, M, my favorite letter. All right, so I'm going to make 12 because mom made a dozen, 12. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I'm going to double check to make sure that I have 12 because I might have counted wrong the first time. You know, smart mathematicians always double check. So let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so mom made 12 muffins. Then you went and ate a half dozen. Oof. If you ate a half dozen muffins, number one, you'd have a tummy ache. But how many muffins did you eat if you ate a half dozen? Well, a half dozen means 6. So if 6 went away, what do I need to do? To cross them off. Half dozen, 6 of them off. All right, here we go. That's what I'm going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, crossed off 6. So now I need to write my number sentence for my story. So if mom made a dozen, what number do I start with? I start with the number, a dozen means 12. She started with a dozen muffins. She had 12. So I'm going to write 12. Now what sign do I need? You came and ate some. So did I get more or did I lose some? I lost some, so I need a minus. 12 minus, now how many did we eat? We ate a half dozen, so a half dozen means 6. And I can double check, see how many I crossed off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so 12 minus 6 equals, how many muffins are still left that you did not eat that someone else can have? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you ate a half dozen, there's still a half dozen left because 6 plus 6 equals 12. All right, let's try one more. I'm going to erase this. All right, let's say I sent Mr. Birch to the store and I told him I wanted him to get me a half dozen eggs because I wanted to dye them and turn them different colors for Easter. So if I sent Mr. Birch to the store to grab a half dozen eggs, how many eggs did he bring me? A half dozen. A half dozen means 6. All right, so I'm gonna draw 6 eggs. Well, I hear the letter E. So I'm gonna make 6 E's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, now I'm going to double check because smart mathematicians always double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, when I opened up my half dozen carton of eggs, I noticed that one had broke on the way home. So if one broke, and I can't use that one because it's cracked and all yucky in the carton, what do I need to do? I need to cross it off. So I have to cross off the one that broke. That's a bummer. Now I need to write my number sentence. So if Mr. Barch brought me a half dozen eggs, how many eggs do I have? 6. So I started with 6. And then when I opened it, one was broken. So I need a minus because I lost one. I can't die that one because the shell's broken. How many did I lose? How many were broken? 1. Equals, how many do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 minus 1 equals 5. And we can add up to double check. 5 and 1 more makes 6. So I know our number sentence is right. All right, so just for review, how many eggs are in a dozen? There are 12. Say 12 in a dozen. 12 in a dozen. How many eggs are in a half dozen? 6. Say 6 in a half dozen. 6 in a half dozen. All right, my sweets, this was today's math lesson. I want you to be really good listeners for Mom while she helps you with your math paper. Don't forget that 12 equals a dozen and 6 makes a half dozen. I'll see you tomorrow for math. I love you. Be a good listener.